Hi, it's Aaron Nearbon, founder and executive director of TroopsDirect. More troops have deployed around the globe this week, and we're going to educate you on the who, where, and why on this week's Weekly Update. Our American service members are serving this nation in a time of great uncertainty, probably more uncertainty than we've ever seen in the past 250 years almost of this nation. We're facing one of the greatest and most important elections of our time. We are fighting an enemy that has no defined borders. They will kill at will, and especially are targeting Westerners, and especially now, lately, the United States. And in this day and age, we have American forces that are going to new places at the last minute to serve people in those countries to protect them against these factions. These killing forces. It's the ISIS, it's the Al-Qaeda, and everybody else that's out there. And we're going to take a moment now to look at who is going where around the globe, and this is stuff that is just broken literally in the last 48, 72 hours or so. Let's take a look on our map. In South Sudan here is the capital of Juba, and there are hundreds dead in the street right now with a huge war that's going on between two factions there. We have about 50 Marines that have been called last minute to go in there and secure American citizens as well as American assets, which is going to be our American property, if you will, that's over there. And candidly, I can't help but think about Benghazi and everything happened there back in 2012 because, again, it's Americans trying to secure our assets in Africa. And here's Libya, there's Benghazi. Here's South Sudan, and there's Juba, its capital. It's the same fit and feel, so we really want to remember those Marines are over there right now as we're filming this message to you that we're called last minute to go and secure this property. Up here in Iraq, Mosul is in the northern part, and we have sent 500 to 600 more American forces into that region, bringing the amount over 5,000 now that are fighting ISIS in order to retake Mosul in a large offensive and bring a certain relative level of stability back to Iraq. I can tell you, we get a lot of information from service members in this area that I just can't share with you on a public forum like this. But the needs that these Americans have when they're over there, because the spontaneity of some of these deployments is greater than we have ever seen. Just like Afghanistan back in 2012, in 2011, it's the same per capita. It's literally the same amount of gear that we're having to ship over to these Americans. So it's an ongoing effort. And again, they're going and fighting in such an uncertain area in an uncertain time. So again, we're supporting them, but also remembering them. Now, I want to go back to Afghanistan over here because as we heard about in the news last week, this current administration, President Obama and everybody underneath him, has announced that we're keeping about 10,000 more Americans there for the long term, which does coincide with what we heard about back in 2012, where President Obama made a deal with then President Karzai to keep Americans in Afghanistan until 2024. Now, this was under the guise of training and advising, which is really the same thing as having Americans on station with guns in their hand. So again, we have a lot of troops that are moving right now. Some are moving from the United States to places, and some simply just aren't moving back home from Afghanistan. But the needs are there, and this week, we're not necessarily asking to make a donation, but asking for your awareness to remember what TroopsDirect is doing for those forces that have been called overseas. But again, your support makes it happen for those troops. TroopsDirect.org, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. God bless our troops. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.